Hey everyone, welcome back to day 3 of the PVR application build. So in this video, we'll be implementing the third screen, which is called as a theater screen, where we will show different seats so that it can be booked. And we are also going to calculate the total price for the seats. So in the previous video, we pretty much designed the home screen, which looks like this. And on press of the book button, we are going to navigate to the next screen where we show different malls for that particular film. And we also have the implementation for the selection of date, as well as if I select on any one of the mall, we pretty much show the show time for that malls. Okay, so in today's video, as I told, we are going to design the third screen. So let's get started. So the first step is to initialize the screen. So let me click on the screens folder and let us create a new screen, name theater screen .js, and then R and FES to get the shorthand snippet. Okay, so save the file. So let's implement in such a way that we have access to the seats in each and every component as well as screens of our application. So to do that, let us go create a global context as we do always. Okay, so let's click new file and then context.js. We pretty much follow the same thing, so I'll write the code pretty soon. So let's import create context. We also need use state from React. So first let's initialize our thing. Let's say movie cards equals to create context. Okay, I think it's already imported. That's a small c. Okay, so let's start writing over here. So here let's write movie context equals to, this is going to take the children, and we are going to return a provider. So let's write return movie cards okay, movie cards is already written. I think we can use it over here. So movie cards.provider. Yeah, so this is going to take in the children. So whatever we initialize over here, we have access to it throughout our application, that is through all the components as well as all our screens. Okay, so let us initialize our seats. So const seats comma set seats equals to use state, and let's pass a empty array since there are no seats selected at the initial stage. So we will pass these attributes as value over here. So let's write seats and then set seats. Okay, so let us export the required thing. So first thing is the movie cards, and next one is the movie context. Okay, currently we have just initialized it, the context. So now let us include our context inside our app.js. Okay, so over here let us wrap our stack navigator inside our movie context, so we have access to all the attributes that we created in our context. So firstly, let's import our movie context and let us just put these two values inside the context. Okay, yeah, so now we have access to the context throughout our application. Okay, so now let's start working on it. So now if I go to our movie screen, like let me create an on press event on the showtime. Okay, so if we press on any showtime, we should be navigated to the next screen, that is theater screen. So over here where we are rendering the showtime, let us create on press event. Okay, so over here we are going to write navigation.navigate to the screen name we want to navigate to. So currently we have only initialized our theater screen, that is over here. We have not included it inside our stack navigator. So let's go to that. Okay, so let us write stack.screen. So for the name, it's going to be, name is going to be theater. Okay, so the component is going to be a theater screen. Let's import it from the screens folder, and I think we do not want the header here as well. So let's just write the options, that is header shown as false. So now we have we have included the theater screen inside the stack navigator. So over here we are going to navigate to the theater. Okay, also as you can see the design over here in this screen, we need access to the name. Okay, we also need access to the mall that we selected, and we also need the time that we selected. Okay, so let us pass the information over here. Let us say mall. I think mall is pretty much going to be the mall because we have already made use of the use state over here. So that's the value we are getting. So the next thing we need is the name. So how we will get the name? It's going to be pretty much root.params.name. So let's copy that, and over here after the mall we are going to write this thing. Next we need access to the time. So let's say time selected. So it's pretty much going to be the item that we are mapping through by making use of the flat list, that is this one. So I think these are the informations needed. Okay, so save the file once. So inside our theater screen, let us make use of the use route hook and get the information. Okay, so const root equals to use route, and let's import it from React Navigation /native, and let's just console.log the information, that is root.params. Save the file. Let's go back to a movie screen and then let's give it a try. Okay, so let us press on, let's say 6:30 p.m. Yeah, we are going into the theater screen, and yes, we are getting the correct information, that is the name of the film, the time that we selected, as well as the mall that is selected. Okay, so let us go back to our theater screen and let's make use of a safe area view because the text is almost touching the status bar. So let's write a safe area view. So instead of the view over here, let us make use of the safe area view. Save the file once. Yeah, so it's back in the correct position. So now let's start designing it. So the first thing we need is the icon. Okay, so over here let us initialize the view and let us grab that icon. I think that icon is present pretty much in the movie screen itself, the backward icon. Oh yeah, I think it's this one. So let's just copy that and let's import icons. No, auto import is not showing. Let's copy that code and import it inside our theater screen over here. So save the file. Yeah, so let us remove the text which says theater screen, that's not required. Okay, so the next thing we want is the name of the film again. So that is again in another view which contains pretty much two texts. So the first one is for the name, so that we can access it by root.params.name. Okay, so the second text is for the mall. We are going to write root.params.mall. Okay, so save the file. Yeah, so we are getting both the data over here. So let's give a format once. We are going to make use of another view because we also need to initialize, we also need to design the share icon as well. So we are going to pretty much put these two children inside this view. Okay, so for this, the second view, we are going to give this style, that is flex direction of row, then align items of center. Okay, so save the file once. Okay, and a bit of spacing towards the left. Okay, since it's almost touching the icon, let's say margin left of 6. Okay, I think that should be given to the text, this one. So style margin left of 6, save the file. Yeah, so for the styling of the text, that is the name, let's write font size of 16 and then font weight of 600. All right, and for the second text, let's give a top spacing of 4 and then a color of gray. Okay, also font size of 15 and font weight of 500, and let's save the file. Okay, let us, I think that's looking good, right? Let us just decrease this margin space to 2. Okay, so the next thing we want is the share icon. I think that is there also in the previous screen. Okay, can't find navigation. Okay, we have not initialized it. Okay, so let us also do that real soon. So let's initialize navigation, and on press of the back button we should go back to the previous screen. So const navigation equals to use navigation. Let's auto import it as well, and on press of the iron icon, that is the back icon. Okay, we are going to write navigation dot go back. Okay, that's already written. Okay, save the file. No, we don't have that icon. Okay, so let us go get that icon. So expo dot icons dot fii, first link, and let's search for the share icon. It's from and design. Is and design already imported? Nope, it is not. So let's import it, and let's also copy the render component code, this one, and let us paste it after this view. Okay, yeah, so for the outermost view, that is this one, which contains two children, that is this view and the icon. So let us give the styling for that. So style equals let's say flex direction of row, and then align items of center. Okay, so let's also write justify content of space between, and save the file. Let's give some spacing towards the right to the icon. So let's write margin right, and let's set it to be 12, and let's save the file. Alright, so the top portion is pretty much done. So now let us make use of empty text tag, which gives the detail about the time that is selected. So this we are going to access by writing root.params dot time selected, and the styling for this one is going to be, we are going to write a text align of center. Okay, let's give a font size of 14 and a font weight of bold. Yes, I think it should pretty much work, and some spacing towards the top. Let's write margin top of 7 and save the file. Okay, let's give some more spacing on the top. Let's say 10. Okay, 10 is looking good. I think that the font size is a bit too big. Let's write 16. Yeah, okay, I think 16 looks pretty good. So the next thing we want is another text. Let's just copy that over here, and we are going to paste it, and we are going to write the text which says classic and the amount of it. Okay, so for the styling, it's going to be font size of 12. The color is going to be gray. Okay, so save the file. All right, I don't think it's bold. Yeah, it's good. Let's increase the font size a bit. Let's say 13. Okay, so the next thing is we are going to pretty much show the seats. Okay, so how do we get access to the seats? Okay, so let us go to our movie screen. Okay, so over here we pretty much pass the information that is the mall and the name and also the time which we selected. So the next thing we want is the access to the seats, right? So if I go to the data, that is over, yeah, so inside the thing we have something called as table data. All right, so let us pass that also as the information so that we can get access to it, right? So inside our movie screen, right after over here, let's write table seats. It's going to be we are mapping over here, right? It's going to be the item.table data. Okay, so save the file. Let's see if it is pretty much working. Let's check another mall. Okay, and if we go to, let's say, 4:20 p.m. Okay, we are not able to access the table seats. It's showing undefined, right? Okay, let us see what is happening. So over here we have the show times, we have the table data as well. Let's check if the spelling is right. So inside our movie screen, yeah, it is right. Item.table data, we have, okay, item in the sense it's actually looking to this, right? It's not taking this value. Okay, never mind. Let's do one thing. Let us initialize the state over here. Let's write const seats data comma set seats data come on equals to use state of an empty array initially. So let's write the logic in such a way that whenever we press a mall, that is over here, we are going to set the seats as well. Okay, so set seats data to be the item dot table data, so that here itself we have access to it. So here also we can do it, but since we have given the item over here, it's accessing that value. Okay, but over here item in the sense only the show time, not the entire thing. So over here instead of the item dot table data, we are simply going to pass this value that is present in the state, that is seats data. So let's copy that, and over here let's pretty much paste it. So save the file. So now pretty much it should work. Let's give it a try. So let us go to the last one, and 6:30. Yeah, so as you can see, inside our console.log, we are getting that table seats thing. Okay, we are getting all the seats. So let us go and design it inside our theater screen. Okay, so over here, so right after the text, we are going to make use of a flat list. Yeah, so talking about the seats implementation, of course a better implementation can be done. So I have made use of a flat list, and I have pretty much making use of 7 columns just to fit the screen. Okay, so that's the way this is done. Of course better implementations can be done, but I'm using this way so that the design is same as the original application. Okay, so I've imported flat list. So let us bring in the data attribute. It's going to be root.params dot the name we gave was the table seats. So let's access that value. So render item, it's going to take the item itself, and let's say we're going to render a pressable. So this pressable is going to take the text where we are going to show the item. Okay, so let's import pressable. Okay, it's imported. So the next thing we do is we pretty much show the item over here, and let's also give another attribute, that is number of columns, and I'm going to set it to 7. So this is the exact value that's going to fit this screen. So let me save the file. Okay, let us give some style so that it looks exactly the way as this design. Okay, so over here let's write style. Okay, so let's give a margin of 10. All right, and let's also give border color to the text or to the pressable. Save. Okay, let's write border width of 1. Yeah, we are able to see it. Let's provide it to the pressable itself. Okay, so let us also give some internal spacing. All right, so the next thing we do is we provide some border radius also. Okay, so border radius, let's say 5, and border width we are going to keep it to be a 0.5. Yes, I think it's looking pretty good. Okay, so the next thing we implement is we also give some, I think spacing wise it's good. Let's give some spacing towards the top. Okay, let's say padding top of 15. Okay, it's giving internal, right? Let's write margin vertical of 10, 20. Nope, we have already given the margin, so that's the reason it is not showing that way. Okay, so format it once. Okay, so we also need some spacing on the top, so let's do one thing. Let's just make an empty view, and over here let's give a margin top, say 20, and save the file. Yeah, now it's looking good. And yeah, so over here let's see if we can give a margin left of 20. Yes, it's working, but almost it's going towards the next part of the screen. Let's remove that. Okay, I think it's looking good. Okay, so over here next thing we need is to design the bottom part, but the size is not that matching, right? Let's give 10. Okay, 8 looks good. We are going to stick with this. Okay, so next thing is the bottom design part. So that over here we are going to just initialize it after the flat list. Okay, so let's make a view. Let's initialize another view. So each of the view contains let's say an icon. So I think that is icon, so let us search for that icon. I think, not remembering the name. Let's search for square. We have an empty square, but we wanted, yeah, we have that also. So let's copy that import code, and we are going to paste it here. Let's also copy the render component code, and we are going to paste it the first thing inside the view. So the second thing has a text. So the first one is for selected. Let's pretty much copy the view a couple of times and then later make the changes. Okay, this one. So the second one is for a vacant. The last one is for occupied. Okay, so let's save the file. Yeah, so we are getting all the required data. So over to the top thing, so to the top view, let us give the styling. So let's write flex direction of row, then align items of center, justify content of, let's write space around. Okay, so for the icon, firstly let us change the color. Okay, so for the selected, the color is going to be the yellow color. I think that color is present. Where is it present? Is it there inside the, I think it's there inside our home screen, inside our movie cards. Starts, yeah, I think this is the one. So let's copy that. Let's go back to our theater screen. So instead of black for the first one, we're going to give this. Save. All right, and for the vacant, it is going to be white, and for this thing it is going to be 98, 98, and 98. Okay, that is for the occupied one. All right, so now let us okay, actually the design is not looking that exactly according to our original design. So let's give some margin top of 20. Okay, so for the icon, let us give a text line of center. all right, and some spacing on the bottom. Okay, so let's pretty much copy the same styling for the remaining icons as well. This one and this one as well. Save the file. Okay, so as you can see, this also contains the border color, I mean not the border color, the background color. So let's go get that. I think that's a light gray color. So let's take this one, and to the top view over here, that is this one, we are going to write a background color and paste this here. Save the file. Let's give some padding. Okay, all right, so let us remove this thing, that is justify content space around, and let us just give spacing towards the left and right. Let's set margin left 40, and then margin right of 40, and let us also give a margin horizontal of 12. Save the file. Nope. No, I think I did a mistake. It's not required. One more thing is this one. Let's give padding left and check it out. 50. So since all of the views are touching together, so for the second view, let's give a margin horizontal. Okay, so over here, let's write margin horizontal, let's say 20. Okay, so let us give a padding left of 50, 100. Okay, I think it's looking good, and yeah, pretty much that part is done. And so the next thing we do is we actually build the bottom part. Okay, so the next view, so right after over here, let's write view. So it contains a text which says show time approx show end time. So this is just a dummy value that we are writing, so 6:51 p.m. and the next text is the another thing, that is no seats selected. Save the file. Okay, we are in the wrong thing. Okay, this has to come inside, I mean it has to come below the view. All right, so over here let us provide some padding of 10. Okay, so our next thing we want is the styling for the texts, that is over here. Let's write font size of 18. Okay, so for the first text, let's give some margin bottom and a font size of 15 and a font weight of 500. Something is erroring out. Save the file. Okay, prox, let's remove that A. Okay, so the next thing is this thing that which says now with ticket cancellation. So let's go design that. Format the document once. So let us put these two texts in a single view. Okay, over here, and let us initialize another view which contains this design. Okay, again we need two texts. I think one itself is enough, right? We can provide a width so that it comes to the bottom. Cancellation, save the file. So to the outer view over here, let's give a flexure action of row, then align items of center and justify between. Okay, so come on. Yeah, save the file. Okay, so over here for this view, let us provide a background color. Let us take a light background color. Okay, let's choose this one. And over here, let us provide some padding as well. Okay, so save the file. So for the text, let's provide a width. So width is going to be 100. All right. And let us give some border radius of 6. I guess we only want border on the top left and the bottom left, right? So let's do that. So border top left radius 6 and border bottom left radius of 6. Save the file. Yeah, but as you can see, there is a space over here towards the right. I think that's because of the padding, or it's I think it's because of the entire margin we have given to the screen that is over here, right? No, there is no margin, but still we have that space coming, right? Okay, so let's remove this padding. Yes, I think that is because of that itself. So let us provide padding over here to this view. Let's give a padding of 10. Yeah, now it should work properly. So over here to this view which contains the text that is now with ticket cancellation, let's provide some spacing on the top. Okay, so margin top of 10. All right, and now what we do is, I think it is pretty clean, but we also should increase the spacing for the second view. Okay, let us give a overall spacing on the top to the top view over here, 14. Yes, okay, nice. So now what we do is we render the last part, that is the bottom part where the payment is calculated. So over here, let's write pressable. So this is going to take two texts. So the first text initially is going to be empty. So only whenever we book the seat, that is going to show the seat number. Okay, not the number of seats that we have selected. So the second text is going to say pay, and the amount, right, initially is going to be 0. So let's write 0. Save the file. And for the pressable, let's give let's say a background color of the yellow color that we have. So that is over here. Let's copy that and let us keep that here, and a bit of padding. Does it have a border radius? No, but doesn't have it. So let us save it first, and let us write a flexure action of row. Okay, align items of center, justify content of space between. Yeah, so the pay 0 thing that should come towards the right. Okay, yes. Now let us give some spacing, that is margin vertical of 10. It's almost at the bottom, right? I think we can give 20. Okay, cool. So now what we do is let's increase the padding for, that is, we want more space inside the view, right? Let's say padding of 20. Okay, so for the pay button, let's write this style. Okay, so Let us wrap this text inside another pressable so that we can click on it. So put the text inside over here, and let us give the font size to be 17 and a font weight to be 600. Save the file. Okay, so now we are going to implement the design such a way that if we press on any one of the seat, that should be selected, and if we press on the seat again, that should get deselected, as we saw in the demo video. So firstly, let's get access to the seats from our context by making use of the use context hook. So let's write con seats comma set seats equals to use context. So we created something called as movie cards. So let's import that from our context file. So save the file once, can't find use context, import it from React. Okay, so use context and save the file. Okay, so let us go to this one, choose a timing, and yeah, so let's provide on press event on the seats where we are rendering it by the flat list. I guess that is over, yeah, it's over here, right? So let's write on press. Okay, so let's write a function over here. Let us initialize on seat select of the item. So let's define the function at the top. So let's copy that and let us start writing the function. So const on seat select, this is going to take the item. Yeah, so let us see how we can do this. So if the user presses the seat for the first time, we are simply going to add that seat into the set seats array. Okay, so for that, first let us find if the seat is already selected or not. So let's write const seat selected equals to seats.find. For every seat, we are checking if the seat equals to the item that we pressed on. Okay, so if the seat is selected, we are going to do something else. So if the seat is already selected and if we press on it again, we are going to deselect it. Okay, so how can we do that? How can we deselect it? So by making use of the filter function, we can simply remove that seat that we pressed on. So we are going to write seats.filter. For every seat, we are going to write seat not equal to the item. What is happening? Okay, not equal to the item. Else, if the seats is not selected and we want to select that seat, we are simply going to push that seats into the array. Okay, so let's write set seats. Okay, we are going to include whatever is there inside our seats, and we're pretty much going to add that item to the seats. Okay, so yes, so let us also change the background color of that. So for that, let us do conditional rendering at the bottom. That is where we include the flat list. Yeah, over here, let's write the condition if our seats dot includes the item, we are going to show it in a background color of yellow. Okay, let us just write the same text and then later make the changes. Okay, so text, else we are going to show the normal text. Okay, so the style for this one is going to be let's write a background color of the yellow one, right? I think that is this one. Let's copy that and let us paste it over here. Else it is going to be a normal text, that is this one, if it is not selected. Okay, so let's give it a try. And let us also console.log the seats, whatever we're getting, and let's remove the other console.logs, that is the root.params. It's not required. Over here, let's write console.log seats. Okay, seats selected. Okay, save the file once. Yeah, so initially we can see it's an empty array, that is no seats are selected. So let's say I press on the first seat. Yeah, we are able to see the seats getting selected. Let's say if we deselect that seat, okay, nothing is happening, and the background is also not changing exactly as we wanted to change, right? Let us see what is happening. Okay, so firstly let us change the background color. Okay, it is only being applied to the text, right? We wanted to include the the full thing. Okay, so let us remove the padding and let us give the padding over here. Let's give the same padding over here as well. Padding of 10, mean 8. Yes, now it's working. Okay, so if we select another seat, it is getting selected. As you can see, the array is being updated over here. Okay, but if we deselect the seats, that's not working, right? Let us see what is happening. So on press, we are providing a function, and we are passing that item that we pressed on, and we are taking that as a parameter over here. And first we are checking if the seat is selected by making use of the find function. So seats.find, for every seat we are checking if it is the seat that we selected. If it is true, we are going to filter it out, right? So for seats.filter, for every seat is not equal to the item. Yes, the logic is pretty clear, but it is not working. Why is that happening? Over here we are setting the seats to be seats an item, right? Oh, okay. I guess I know what happened. We are not setting the seats over here, right? That's the reason it's not working. Save the file. Yes, now it's working absolutely fine. We're able to select it. Okay, can't find variable index. Where is that? Okay, this has to be if seat selected. Okay, save the file once. Let's try to select the seats. Let's deselect them. Absolutely working fine. Okay, now it's working. The mistake we did was we were not setting the seats. We were only just trying to make use of the filter function and then trying to remove that item. Okay, now it's working absolutely fine. So over here we are simply going to at the bottom we are going to render the seats that we selected. Okay, and also this thing. Okay, if we'll write a condition here, if seats total length is greater than 0, we are going to write a text, else is going to be empty. So if it's greater than 0, we are going to write seats total length seats selected. Okay, so save the file once. So initially nothing is selected, so if I press on 2 seats, we should get that text saying 2 seats selected. And let's provide the styling for that. Okay, let's write font size of 17 and a font weight of 500. Okay, cool. So now I think we're pretty much done. So one thing is we also need to show the seats that we just pressed on. That is instead of no seats selected, if we have pressed on any seats, we are going to show the seats that we selected. If seats total length is greater than 0, we are going to show something, else we are just going to say no seats selected. Okay, let's just create a function and let us initialize it over here at the top. So const show seats equals to function. Here we are going to map through the seats. Seats.map for every seat, comma index. We are pretty much going to render a text. Okay, it's going to be seat itself. And then let's save the file. Okay, something happened. It is not showing. Seats.map for every seat. But why is it not showing it as right? Let us deselect it. Yeah, it's working fine, but if we select a seat that is not showing, why is that happening? Let's see. We are creating a function show seats at the top over here. Okay, so we are mapping through each seat. Seats.map for every seat. We are rendering a text. Okay, I know why it is not working, because we're not returning anything, right? We're just making use of explicit return. That's not going to work. Save the file. Okay, I don't think that was required. Yes, it's working clean now. We are able to see the seats that is getting selected, right? Let's give some basic styling. Let's say margin top of 6 of 4 and a font size of, let's say, 617. Yes, let's say we select more seats. Okay, we are getting it inside, we're getting it in vertical fashion. We do not want that, right? Yeah, so let's make use of a view, and then let us just map over here. So for the view, let us write flexor action of row. Okay, and then align items of center. So for the text, let us also give a padding horizontal of 4. Yeah, I think we are pretty much done. We are able to select the seats, we are able to deselect the seats, and yes, if there are no seats selected, we pretty much don't show any information. So I think that's it for this video. In the next video, we are going to calculate the total, and on press of this total button, we are going to show the Stripe payment sheet integration so that we can pay that particular amount and navigate to the next screen where the ticket is being seen. Okay.